next big thing. Um, yeah, so there's been a massive aggression, increase in aggression in the Ukraine Russia war. And so there was on June, I think it was June 1st, about 4 days ago, 5 days ago, there was an airstrike that came from the Ukraines by these drones. So they had smuggled about like over 150 drones into Russia, and about like these drones that are shot off like missiles. We're talking about like little drones that you would fly with like a remote control, and these drones had explosives on it, and they went over air bases in Russia, like 4 different air bases, and they basically took out about 40% of Russia's bomber fleet. And when I say the bomber fleet, I'm talking about the big planes that hold all the bombs. Like, we would call them the B-2 bomber or the B-1 bomber, right? Those types of planes that are used for massive dropping of bombs on targets. And so there was about 40% of all of Russia's bombers were taken out through this attack. And they're the media is calling it Russia's Pearl Harbor. Okay, and so this is definitely a massive escalation in the war. And so why is that important? And I'll tell you why. It's because number one, here's a little side. This is not number one, but it was actually pretty impressive. That's a pretty impressive move. Like, there was no civilian casualties or anything like that. It was just all of Russia's 40% of Russia's planes, bombers that got destroyed. So that's actually pretty impressive. Okay, that Ukraine was able to do this. Now, where it gets dicey, this is where it gets dicey, is that there was a senator from the United States that was meeting with Ukrainian President Zelensky literally the day before that, and was getting all the support from this senator. The senator was saying that America supports them and this and that, and there's so much support for from the United States to Ukraine, blah, 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 right? And then all of a sudden this attack comes. So naturally, Vladimir Putin thinks that Donald Trump and the United States probably would have something to do with this. Okay. And so now, one might ask, well, why would all these planes be, just out in the open? And there actually has something to do with with the nuclear treaty. Okay. That all the nuclear powers, basically, they just said, hey, we got to have all the planes out in the open where everybody, so that this way we know there's no attacks or anything, nothing sneaky going on. Okay, so that was part of the treaty. So that's why that they were out in the open. So just to preface that. Yeah, so, it just seems like the United States was involved. And of course, Donald Trump comes out and says that, like, we had nothing to do with this. And we didn't, because this is damaging to the peace talks. And so, anyhow, Matt, I don't know. Have you seen? Did you hear about that strike?
No. What strike?
The one I just got done talking about while you're eating your seaweed.
Don't
No, you were
embarrass
digging
me.
into that. We're about to have a break. Trump versus Elon, part 2, right here on Faith the Nation, live.
No,
No, well. Listen, I guess let me just say this. This is important because there's a massive escalation in this war, and it just seems like people are trying to drag the United States into a war with Russia. That's just what it seems like. Okay, and obviously this is something that we don't want. We don't want to get dragged into a war with Russia. Not because we're afraid of Russia. I mean, if they haven't taken out Ukraine, I mean, we're not really worried about Russia, to be honest with you, per se, other than they have nukes. And so we don't We don't want that to happen.
To be honest with you,
But
I'm just really
nonetheless, I
upset
mean,
with Donald Trump. He said we were going to be out of this war immediately. Okay, I'm just quoting leftist talking points now because he's such a bit crybaby whiner. So why can't you do it? You said you were going to do it. You said you can get us out of the war immediately. You're good friends with Putin. Why can't you do it, mister? Why
well,
can't you
to
just do
be
it?
fair, to be
Why? Why be
fair,
fair?
Donald Trump has been very active in trying to get it. Now, okay, he ran on it. He ran from day one, while I'm president elect. I know what he would say. Okay, I heard it, and I kind of believed it. But
No, you know what?
when
I know what it
when
is. He wants to keep this military industrial complex machinery big, beefed up nonsense. He's not willing to disassemble the machinery. That's what it is. He's not willing to air our. He's not willing to air all the baggage, and let all the skeletons out of the
okay,
closet, Alex.
okay, so then if you know why he's not, let me
Yeah,
ask
I
you
know he's
this:
not.
how is he supposed to be able to stop the war then?
He'll stop. I've said it 1,000 times. Okay, you stop the war by admitting that we started the war. All right, we send them $1 trillion check. Right, we take responsibility for all the lives on both parts. Right, stop playing some sort of other game. We open up the vaults. We expose ourselves. We let all the skeletons out of the closet. We stop trying to pretend like we're going to put the cat back in the bag and defend ourselves against China and make ourselves the military leader of the world when we're the evilest son of a gun on the planet, right? That's how you do it. You say, sorry, we were complicit. This is the military technology that the other administration under us skeeved and connived in order to steal from you. We're giving it back to you. We work together, right? Instead, what are we doing? We got to build our nuclear arsenal, our military machinery. We got to not expose how evil and demonic that we've been and complicit as part of all this. In Christianity, what do you have to do? You have to repent, right? It means you have to openly, not just say that you feel bad about what you've done. You've got to confess to your brother and sister. We have to confess to the nations what role we've played. And you can't confess to the nations what role you've played just by blaming everything on some cognitive decline of Joe Biden. We can't heal, and we can't heal when people don't know the witchcraft networks, the pedophilia networks, all of the terrible things that we have had a role in. I mean, if I was president of the United, what would I do? What would Matt Opasek do if I was? I would also be fearful that I'm about to destroy the whole world, that I'm going to destroy American hegemony, or whatever it is, our this idea that we lead by strength, that when I let the cat out of the bag, that I might just destroy the nation by doing so. But that's the risk I'll take, because that risk will bring people to Jesus. That risk, if we're exposing the role that we've played and then digging out all of these tapes and showing everything, that's the only thing. That's the only card that we got. We got 10 administrations that were the personification of evil on the earth. Throw them under the bus. Let's all take responsibility. And then if they don't come to the playing field, we tried our very best. He's trying to play by the same rules when we need ultimate transparency and vulnerability. I don't think you can play it two ways. I mean, if someone was coming to me and I know they literally instigated the whole fight, okay, but then I can't tell the world that they instigated the whole fight, but behind the scenes you want to now negotiate with me? It doesn't make any sense.
Actually, good points, Matt. No. Those are actually good points, Matt. I mean, that what Jesus said: the truth shall set you free. And America, but in some sense, Donald Trump does say that Biden started the war. It's not like he's actually lying. It wasn't Trump. Trump didn't start the war.
But at the same
Yes,
time, he's too
America
afraid.
did.
He's too afraid to fight this military-industrial complex. Why wasn't Doge? Why wasn't it the first stop? Okay? Why wasn't it the first stop? That's where all of the skeletons are. Okay? So why wasn't it? It's because peace through strength. Peace through strength. No. Peace through vulnerability, peace through Christ. Peace through truth. Okay? Peace through that, right? not peace through. But I get it because I would also be afraid. You think I get it, man. You have billions of people's the whole world rests on his shoulders at this point in time if he's going to make moves like that, right? You have to have trust in God to make moves like that, right? Trusting that God, that if I do the right thing and I close down my military industrial complex, right? And now we don't have our secret space weapons or whatever the heck is going on, or the underground sex slaves or whatever the heck is going on over. I gotta trust in God. Put all of our cards in God, right? And admit who we are, the role that we played, so that we can be that light that you put on the table for everybody to see, that light on the hill that everyone can see. And that's all well and good. But when you're in Donald Trump's shoes, I think your faith is really going to be tested, because you got. I really do understand the dilemma that if we don't continue building this machinery, is everybody over here playing Jesus? No. You think China's over here playing Jesus, playing Mr. Nice Guy, right? We're gonna have like the 8th largest military in the world and just think that we're gonna continue to be the reserve currency of the world? No, we built this reserve currency with a gun to people's heads, and you think that we're gonna transition by being the dove? I get it, but you ain't gonna stop world wars. That you ain't gonna stop a war that way when you're dealing with monsters.
Yeah. No, I think that's actually pretty interesting that you bring that up about being honest, be truth. Yes, peace through Christ, peace through truth. I think that was really profound, Matt.
Thank you.
I'm
I'm a very profound person.
impressed.
It's called shock and
I'm
awe, right?
impressed.
The psychology of
I'm
shock. We
impressed.
don't
That was
shock
good.
and awe them with bombs. We shock and awe them with truth. That's what they're not expecting. They're expecting fun and games and banter and the art of the deal. What was that thing? It was shock and awe. That was the Iraq or the Afghan
Shock and
invasion.
awe, Iraq. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. The Bush second Bush invasion, shock and awe.
That's what we got. Here, we didn't do shock and
Um,
awe. All right.
yeah. So uh, I wanted to preface. I think that was. Oh, there was some breaking news just to finish off with Russia and discuss about that. Obviously the peace talks have basically taken a back step in it for Ukraine and Russia. Obviously, Russia says that they are going to respond to what Ukraine has done. And it looks as though about an hour ago, I just posted this. This had just came out an hour ago that Putin just launched an aerial assault on Kyiv. Kyiv is the capital of Ukraine, involving ballistic missiles and drones. Fires are reported. So that is breaking. And so, there's just a lot. I mean, war is ugly, and it's not pretty, and they need prayer. Everybody does. But anyways, I just wanted to give that breaking news. That's what's been going on with Russia.